Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Step Brothers Wrestling Show.
That's right.
Big
We still do
Country.
this.
We're here with
Steve
our
Thrifty.
guy, Steve Thrifty.
Yeah,
We're here.
we're queer.
Queer.
Get used to it.
Get used to it. That's right, baby. But guys, it's been a long couple weeks. We apologize. It has been far too long. We have been extremely busy. We have been
Yeah,
sick. We have been doing everything. So we're
right.
just happy to be back, and we are gonna bring to you the best show that we possibly can, which it probably ain't gonna be that good, but we're
No,
gonna
it's
do it
gonna be
anyways.
fucking great, bro. We are coming off of a lot of momentum.
We are.
Like Mike explained. We had to go on a couple of week hiatus because of extenuating circumstances. But we are coming in hot off of the very first Step Brothers Wrestling podcast sponsored poker night. A good time, great
It was a
time.
good time.
So
I
we're
enjoyed it.
here. We got a lot to talk about, but at the same time, we don't got a lot to talk about. It's all very condensed because everything that's happened, for the most part, is building up to what is happening tomorrow, Survivor Series War Games, and
A couple weeks worth of pre-tape shows.
yeah,
Never really fun to watch.
right. You understand why they do them around this time of year, and I can't hate
Yeah.
on them for doing that.
No, I don't blame
Good.
them.
Yeah, it's good that these people get to go home and be with their families for the holidays, just like every fucking body else, instead of parading around in their goddamn underwear for us like they do every other week of the year. So good for
Wish they
them, man.
would. Yeah.
But like you said, it's not a lot of unpredictability, not a lot of shock and awe to these pre-taped episodes. They just kind of are very, they follow the formula. They follow
They're
the
very
track
readable.
to
You know
do.
what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
That doesn't mean we haven't got some really good moments.
Yep.
So, man, I guess the first thing that I want to get into, and obviously, like every week when we get into the subject, there's layers and layers and layers to peel off of it. But what I presume will be the main event tomorrow night, men's War Games,
It
Bloodline,
has to be.
Yeah, no brainer.
Yeah, no brainer.
Because I think The Rock's going to come out, but we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
The Rock has to show
That's
up.
honestly not that important, and that's crazy. Like given the grand picture that we're looking
We're
at.
gonna close with that because that is gonna be our meat and potatoes for this episode. So
Oh, you want to close? Okay.
we're gonna close with that because that's gonna definitely take up the majority of our time, I think, because there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
That's why I was Okay, yeah. Okay. I was gonna
So
start with that for that
I
reason.
I think we should close with that.
Okay, all right. I think we'll do that. So we'll come back to that, folks. For everybody tuning in for just the Bloodline, like you do fucking SmackDown, just give us a minute and we'll get there.
Tonight was a little no yeet, but we'll get there. So let's open with the women's war games.
Okay.
So we've got a real fishy situation going on.
Yeah.
No pun intended for some stanky pussy bitches.
Vanover, if you're watching, he's talking to you, jailbird.
But so we've got Nia, we've got Tiffy, Candace, Liv, and Raquel versus Rhea, Bailey, Io, fucking Bianca, and who's the final member? Is that it? No,
Yep.
Rhea, Bailey, Bianca, Io. Oh, Naomi.
Naomi. Yeah. I
And
was like,
Becky's in for an injured Jade
Bailey.
Cargill. Yeah, Bailey is in. Yeah.
And man, so there's a whole lot to
There's
this.
a lot to it. There's a lot to it because we're being told that Jade is actually injured,
Right.
but they covered it up with some storyline injuries.
And apparently Jade is actually not injured.
Yeah, there's so many different.
Yeah, it's conflicting. So I don't.
Yeah, there's so many
really
conflicting
know what
stories going on.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe, but
yeah,
I don't know. Okay, so there's two ways I could possibly feel about this. So if Jade is actually injured, then they've done just fine, honestly, and it sucks. But if she's not injured, I will say I think they've handled this very poorly.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't understand the reason for any of it at all. If in fact she's not injured, like why even? Because okay, a lot of people talk about Jade's shortcomings in the ring, and sure, like she's had a lot of moments where she's kind of shown her inexperience. I think that Jade in a lot of ways is still very impressive, and I think in War Games she would have done very, very, very well. So I really just can't think of a reason.
War Games is the right match to, if you want to hide somebody's flaws, that's the right match to do it, because there's too much going on.
Yeah, and I feel like that she
just like the Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that she would have done really well in that. So I don't know. I do look forward to this match, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's going to be really cool to see. I think it's cool that Candice is in it. I think it's cool that Tiffy's in it, just because these women, particularly Candice, haven't gotten to shine in these kinds of matches. I mean, we always knew Tiffy would.
So I think it's very important that Tiffany is involved. I personally think this is a way for them to try and save Candice, but I don't think there's any saving it at this point. The only way I see them saving Candice in her career and tenure with WWE is they have got to legitimately put her in some storylines where she is the focus.
And they should.
And they should. And they should have been doing this a long time ago. And they should have done the same thing with Indy Hartwell. And that's why Indy's not here, which is really sad, because Indy is a fucking amazing talent.
I think it's really stupid, because the one point I was going to bring up to what you said is I think that Candice may have a spot to thrive now that they've introduced these women's mid-card titles. I
agree, and I think they should have put her in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's kind of whatever, because I don't see her, just because of how her tenure on the main roster has gone. I almost think definitely they wouldn't have picked her as one of the inaugural champions. So I think having her in the tournament kind of is irrelevant either way. It's cool that she's featured right now. It's great that she's going to be in War Games, because I like Candice LeRae a lot.
Yeah.
Her tenure in NXT was awesome. She really did well down there. She had a lot of really good matches. She can really go, man. And
she really can.
I
struggle with the name. She used the finisher, the Shiny Wizard. They called her the girl with the shiniest wizard. I can't remember. Tegan Knox.
Yeah.
Her and Tegan Knox, they had some really great feuds in NXT, and I think Tegan had a real chance to really do something on the main roster, but they were just cooking with Bayley and fucking Charlotte when they brought her up.
Tegan and Indy, man. I am sad that they're both gone now that they've introduced these mid-card titles.
Me too.
Because this is what the women's division has needed for a long time. I don't think they needed tag team titles. They needed mid-card titles.
Yep.
And look at immediately, like, the women who are in this tournament. Like, these are women who often, weren't featured prominently, at least, because, they weren't going to be put over women like Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, even Bianca, Rhea, Naomi, and so a lot of their matches and their feuds, if by God they ever got a fucking feud, were just really low card and filler, and it just seemed like they had nothing to do. And they created these women's tag team titles, and sure, it was cool when you were a woman in a tag team, and basically every other woman has been in a thrown together tag team, for the sake of having something to do other than compete for the world title.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of them introducing women's mid card titles.
I
think
agree,
that's the best
and
thing
they
they've
were
done.
smart about it. They experimented with NXT for a little bit, and they were like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
this is working, so we're going to do it."
See, I think it would be cool, and like I get it. You know, you got to be safe when initially rolling these concepts out because it is a very
Hmm.
new thing. Um, I would like it if eventually we saw like different mid card championships for the women than what the men have.
Yeah,
Like, you know, the men have the Intercontinental Championship. I don't have a name for like a counterpart belt, you know, that would basically be like the Intercontinental Championship.
I mean,
But
you could call it the middleweight or something like that.
yeah, but same concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Same something for like a secondary championship.
yeah,
Like, you know, if there wasn't an Intercontinental and a United States Championship, it could be like the men have the Intercontinental and the women have the United States, like something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think something like that would be neat, like in the
That
future,
would be cool.
like make the divisions a little bit different.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
but I think that this has a good chance of maybe even beating last year's women's War Games match. Because I remember
I think it will,
coming out of that one thinking like that one was solidly the best women's War Games match that I'd seen,
and it
and
was.
I think that this one, you know, has a chance to even top that one.
Yeah, I still that they should have not put Bailey in it and just held out as a surprise for Saturday night and let Charlotte or Becky come back.
Yeah, I mean, ideally that would be cool, but the fact that they went with a safer pick kind of tells me that either number one, those women are unavailable, or two, they have different and possibly more significant plans for bringing those women back.
I think
Uh,
they both come back in the Rumble.
See, that'd be interesting. In my head, though, I can definitely see Becky as being a Rumble surprise, and I think that she
Yeah.
should be because Flapjack, fuck off. Um, I'm trying to love my cat here, but she should be a Rumble surprise because I think the response to that would be really good because
Yeah.
they've kind of held her out in kayfabe as like this. You know, she's a free agent. You know, she's not signed. They say.
Yeah.
You know, will she even come back? You know, it's a mystery. I think that kind of thing really lends itself to being a great Royal Rumble surprise. Whereas Charlotte, I more so see her as someone that they would almost definitely have plans for like a really big rollout for. Like she could certainly be a Royal Rumble surprise herself, but like I almost feel like they want like a big fucking rollout for her return.
Yeah. Which is fine with me.
Yeah. I mean, she's been gone so fucking long now that I almost miss her. And
Yeah.
not a knock on Charlotte the performer, but you know, Charlotte the character sometimes was just so
Yeah.
overbearing and she was just so ever present all the time.
Yeah. Agreed.
And you
Agreed.
know, it sucks, you know, her injury and especially the extent of it.
Yeah.
But you know, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I think
It's true.
having some time away from Charlotte, I think
I
people
mean,
will certainly appreciate her a lot more.
the injury that she suffered, like, yes, she tore her ACL, but not only did she tear her ACL, she tore her MCL and her PCL, which is called an unhappy triad. And it's extremely hard to come back from.
Yeah.
I had a friend that did that when I was in middle school. He was in high school, and it took him. He did that on like the second week of football,
Shit.
and he did not get cleared to even start running until 2 weeks before graduation.
Fuck.
So it's tough, and he rehabbed so hard. He had surgery 2 weeks after the injury,
Right.
and it's a horrible rehab. But I know Charlotte was ahead of schedule the last time I looked into it. and she has been a little bit more active on social media, and it seems like she's getting close. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see as to when she's 100% and ready to go back. So when we start seeing stuff that she's at the performance center, we'll know it's coming quick, just like Randy last year.
See, yeah, I completely agree.
Because Randy showed up at the performance center about 6 weeks before Survivor Series last year,
Yeah.
and then he fucking showed up at Survivor. I mean, they told us he was coming back on SmackDown like 2 weeks before Survivor Series. So,
Yep.
And then he came back looking like he had eaten himself.
He came back, and I thought it was Batista for a second.
Right, bro. I saw something today. Speaking of Batista, I saw something on Twitter today that he is teased. They're teasing that he is going to be at Raw this coming Monday.
Oh, okay.
So they're alleging and I don't know how true this is. I don't know if it's even a thing. There's people saying that he could be making a comeback run, which I think is insane.
See, I can't see it because, like, not that he looks bad, but have you seen the shape he's in?
He's old, bro, and he's flabby.
He doesn't look so.
He doesn't look like Batista.
He looks healthy.
He does look healthy, but he looks like an actor. He doesn't look like the fucking beast. You know what I mean?
So he looks to me like he's in shape.
Right.
But he's not in ring shape.
He's always going to be in shape.
Yeah, of course,
but is he ever going to be 2006 traps to his fucking ears?
No, yeah. And that's why I was so careful to preface that like I did.
Right.
Because it's not that he like looks sickly or like he's in bad health, but like if you look at Batista today versus the Batista that we grew up watching, it's almost shocking.
Oh, it's night and day.
Yeah. Like
he looks like an old man version of himself, really.
Right.
Which he is.
I just absolutely could not imagine seeing like this version of Batista in the ring. And that sounds like it's offensive. Like I'm sure he can still wrestle, but like I don't know. He always wrestled as this fucking monster who could throw everybody around, and I don't know. It'd be to me Batista. Like it'd be cool to see Batista. I appreciate him as an actor. He seems like he's pretty damn good.
You know what? I think he's a better actor than he ever was a wrestler, honestly.
And that's not even an insult because
it's not at all.
I was gonna say
because I loved Batista when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, I love him as Drax.
Yep.
Like everything I've seen him in.
Yep. Every movie he's been in is great.
He seems like he's a pretty decent dude. I don't know. I fuck with Batista. Like I said, it'd be cool to see him do cameos. Like I'd like to see him like in the picture more often. He's obviously not around all the time because he's a really popular actor and has a busy schedule. But to see him wrestle again, to me, would be absolutely fucking bonkers.
Agreed. It would be fucking wild. It'd be cool, but I don't think he will, personally. But it'll be cool to see him back just around the WWE, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Even for one night. I wonder where they're at next week.
I don't know.
Because I know he's from DC.
He's from DC, but I think he lives in LA, to be honest with you.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like, I'm sure, like, if not, I'm sure he's around there.
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, I wonder if they're in California or DC.
Let's see. What the fuck? Monday the 2nd. Everett, Washington.
Okay, so neither of those places. Interesting.
No. Which, not that far.
Yeah, realistically, it's
it's not that far. It's West Coast. You could hop on a plane and be there in 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he shows up on Raw. It'd be cool if he does.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
So next, I think that we should talk about, kind of continuing on the Monday Night Raw path for a little bit. I'd like to talk about, the World Heavyweight Championship match that we're going to get, Gunther versus Damian Priest. I think this has been an interesting kind of turn to this rivalry. So I think it's, in my opinion, they've kind of abruptly shifted the dynamic. And
it was very abrupt. I will fucking add to that. It was extremely abrupt.
Yes. It's a logical thing to do, in my opinion, for the development of these characters. So if you want to establish Gunther in the long term, so his badassness, his invincibility, like literally it sells itself. And that's what has gotten him as far as he's gone, is his aura, his amazing fucking wrestling. Like, I will say, in my opinion, well, this is not a very hard opinion, but I don't know if there's a better professional wrestler on the planet right now than Gunther.
Agreed.
He is just truly on another level. And the one thing that I think that WWE has not done up to this point is really give him a lot of vulnerability.
Yeah.
And that has worked. But now he is the guy. He is the guy on Monday Night Raw. He's the World Heavyweight Champion, and he probably will be for a fucking long time.
Yeah.
And even when he is not World Heavyweight Champion anymore, it won't be long until he fucking picks up another championship. So Gunther is going to be around for a long time, in my opinion. And
since you said that, I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
And this is long-term storytelling, and I see this happening in the somewhat near future.
Okay.
So Gunther's going to lose his title probably at Mania.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, that's realistic.
Gunther is then going to be drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And before Survivor Series next year, Gunther will be the champion on SmackDown.
Yeah. I think that's very realistic, honestly.
I think it's extremely realistic. I think he drops the belt. I think he drops it to Drew, which means Drew has to come back very soon. And I think Drew comes back probably at the Rumble. They'll keep him quiet until the Rumble.
Yeah. I could see him being the surprise return on the men's side.
And Drew just may win the Rumble, and Drew just may beat Gunther.
Yeah.
And then that sets us up for Punk and Drew.
Oh my God.
And, yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Punk is going to have to wait one more year for his WrestleMania win, for his WrestleMania headline. But Drew will be the champion probably the entirety of 2025 after Mania, starting at Mania through the next year at Mania. And I think Punk beats Drew at Mania because he'll win the 2025 Royal Rumble. Or sorry, the 2026 Royal Rumble. That is some like crazy fantasy booking, long-term storytelling. That's what I see happening.
So the thing that I am trying to think my way into is how Punk could main event WrestleMania 41.
He's good. Well,
because okay, hold on. We gotta be realistic.
There's a lot to that. That was one reason Punk came back, and I understand. Like everybody knows that.
Right. But okay, so you have to consider one thing.
Hmm.
In my opinion, and this may take some Steiner math for me to get here, but there is at least a 66 and 2/3 chance, probably higher than that CM Punk's match at WrestleMania 41 is going to be versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I think unless something happens like it did last year, like an injury or something unfortunate like that, I think he's definitely going to be fighting Seth Rollins.
Right.
Now, the only problem with that is absent a world championship, I don't see that getting a main event spot on either night.
It's not.
Because obviously the main event of night 2 is going to be whatever in the fuck the world heavyweight universal championship, the Cody belt is going to be doing. That's night 2. That's written in stone.
So I think the main events of WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 are already in stone. And I don't think anybody's really talking about it because we haven't seen The Rock much.
Right. But he's going to be in.
So night 1, the main event is absent a title belt 100%. It is going to be The Rock and Roman. Winner gets Cody.
Okay.
Roman wins that fight.
Okay.
Night 2, Cody beats Roman to solidify himself as the champion. I don't see Roman beating Cody at Mania.
I
could also see The Rock beating Roman.
Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong because everything you're saying makes sense. But I got beef with all of it.
Okay.
So, number one, I mean, Rock versus Roman, no brainer. No brainer, right? But my beef comes with, okay, Rock versus, let's say Rock wins. That means you get The Rock wrestling fucking 2 nights in a row. That sounds crazy to me. Especially 2 singles matches.
Crazier shit has happened.
So that's not impossible. But the thing I got beef with more is Roman winning because, Roman
3 years in a row.
Yeah, that's my beef. I'm like, dude, we don't need that. I don't know that we need that match again because one thing got proven, like unequivocally, without a doubt, in my opinion, and that's Cody wins unless Roman's got 6 motherfuckers helping him.
Okay. So let's say night 1, Rock Roman. Period. No Universal Championship implications.
Okay.
Just Rock Roman, and I could see that. And it's for control of the bloodline.
Yeah.
And it's at this point we need a Solo and Roman match, and I think that happens at Rumble.
That's a good.
Just a solos match with all the fucking interference. It all happens at Rumble.
Bloodline rules.
Solo versus Roman. I'm fucking here for that. I think that match needs to happen. Roman has to win though. That's the thing.
100%.
Roman has to win because, in my opinion,
unless
Solo ain't done shit. Rock has to interfere, right?
Right.
Rock has to interfere, but who does The Rock interfere for?
Well, no. Even if The Rock doesn't interfere, unless the direction that they're going, and in my opinion, this would be the right direction. So logic dictates that you're absolutely correct and Roman has to win. However, I think it would be great if they gave Solo that rub.
I think it would be good for Solo.
I think that Solo should get that rub. I don't know if they'll give it to him because I just don't know if you give Roman that loss. But see, that's again,
There's so many factors that play
yeah,
into
that's what logic
scenario.
dictates, right? Is you don't think about giving Roman that loss, but at the same time, like to me, Roman Reigns, the character, like I don't know where he goes in the long term from where he's at right now.
Man, that's the problem I share with all of it. Roman doesn't need much else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Roman has had everything.
Roman's got it all. Roman's been the Universal. He's been the World Heavyweight. He's been the Undisputed. He has had the longest title run in WrestleMania era history.
Yep.
He's beaten everybody. He's won every match. He's done it all.
Motherfucker's beating cancer.
Literally,
He's beating everything.
yeah. He doesn't need much else. So how long is Roman realistically still gonna be active?
Honestly,
And my answer to that, my personal answer to that question is not very fucking long. Like 4 years at the max. At the fucking max.
and see that's what's wild to me is because that is not even taking into account that and this is not I can't dictate his health and like how everything is gone, but if it were me
Yeah.
and I had that degree of success, and I had been through what he had health wise, you're damn right, dude. I would take the opportunity to like not necessarily retire early, but like wind down hardcore because I think what we're destined to get a lot of with Roman Reigns because I mean the dude's not old yet. Like, let's say in a perfect world where, he was perfectly willing and able, the man could probably wrestle for another 10 or 15 years.
I mean, I think he can, personally.
But
that the medication that he's on, and he's talked about it.
yeah.
The medication he's on, it fucks him up, dude.
Oh yeah.
Fucks him up. And that's why he's not wrestling a bunch of matches.
Right.
That's why he does these beat downs and that's it. And then
yeah,
wrestles a match every now and then.
He's 110%, in my opinion, earned, riding off into the sunset. And if he were to do that after this WrestleMania, like he's had a legit Hall of Fame career, undoubtedly. He goes down as one of the best champions. He helped tell one of the best stories in professional wrestling history with this bloodline story.
It's most definitely the longest fucking story.
Yeah. And anybody who says it's not one of the best stories ever told in pro wrestling
is a goddamn liar.
They're lying to themselves.
You're a fucking liar. You're fucking lying to yourself. You're lying to fucking everybody.
Yep.
You're out of your fucking mind.
And you're stupid.
You're out of yeah. Fuck you. Like, there's no, like, this time last year, I was beyond ready to be done with the Bloodline story. I was ready to be done with the Bloodline story.
This time 2 years ago.
When we went to Royal Rumble. I
thought it was coming to a close when we went to
I did too. When we went to the Rumble, I was like, man, this shit's
when Sammy hit him with that chair, I was like, this is coming. I was like, after WrestleMania, we're done.
Yeah. We still had a whole nother year before Cody finished the story. And we're still telling Bloodline stories.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the craziest fucking long-term storytelling I've ever seen. And that's what it fucking makes it so interesting for me. I don't watch this shit, like, not just because I enjoy it, which I do, but I watch this shit for this kind of shit. I am so invested now. I'm more invested now in this Bloodline story than I have ever been.
So speaking of investment in the Bloodline story, Survivor Series War Games.
Are we there? Are you ready?
Yeah.
We got all the time in the world, bro.
I mean, we're already on the bloodline. We're
We hadn't
talking. We're
even-
talking a
Fuck it.
year
We'll
into the
talk about-
future.
We'll talk about LA Knight later.
Yep.
So, yeah. While she's calling me daddy and you're screaming uncle, I'll have everybody saying, yeah.
War Games.
Line, greatest fucking line.
Yeah.
Fucking SmackDown history. I'm calling that shit. That was fucking beautiful.
Yep.
It was beautiful. There's
Shinsuke
nobody.
Nakamura can fuck off.
There's nobody in the business that's got a fucking silver tongue like fucking LA Knight. There's nobody. That was fucking gold. War Games. What's up, Lee Al? You want to come on, bro? I'm
We're
gonna send you an
stuck.
invite anyways.
We're stuck.
All right, hold on. You're probably gonna lose me on the camera. I'm gonna invite Lee Al real quick.
Hell yes.
Here it is.
So we're just going to take a moment, folks, while we've got a brief intermission to remind you that Step Brothers Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by Hot Dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot Dogs. Their
Can you
food.
still hear me? Am I still here?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me?
Mm-mm.
I'm back, goddammit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Drew just got home.
Uh-oh. So it looks like we got Drew maybe for 30 minutes.
Maybe. I mean, shit, dude. We can go all night, bro. It don't fucking matter.
Unless this cat kills me.
Yeah, fuck that pussy.
She had fun yesterday, too.
Good.
Yeah, folks, my cat didn't know more than like 3 people existed up until yesterday, and then there were like 7 people in my apartment. I think she ended up learning that she likes people.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
We're here.
get used to it.
We're queer. Not going anywhere. So, fuck it. Let's go.
All right. So, unless
Just to preface this a little bit. The Yeet Master is going into his 3rd straight War Games along with Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm. Which is awesome.
3 in a row. 3 in a
That's
row. That
fucking cool as
shit's
shit.
crazy. It's fucking crazy.
That's how much the Bloodline has been the focus. They've main evented Survivor Series
3 years in a row. Yep.
And I love it, dude. I love it so much.
I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm happy to see the OG Bloodline as the faces in this deal.
Imagine saying that last year.
It's very refreshing. What up, hippie?
What's going on?
What's good?
War Games is tomorrow.
War Games.
Finally done with dinner. I'm so impressed.
We just got back from the pub, so.
Oh, he's
Which
had
pub?
to.
What? What's up?
Where'd y'all go?
LBK.
Okay, nice. Downtown? Oh,
What's
yeah,
up?
yeah. Downtown, the one on Broadway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took the in-laws for the holiday,
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Cheers.
right? I'm cut off.
Oh, come on.
Right, he had his 2.
For real. Oh, man. So what time is War Games tomorrow?
So starts 6 p.m. Eastern, so 5 o'clock our time.
The best time.
Yes.
No spoilers, please. I'll be at work.
I will also be busy, so no spoilers.
I don't know. I'll try to see if I can watch it live, but who knows?
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow night when I get off.
Yeah, I'll watch it Sunday morning when I'm hungover.
Hell yes.
What's the card?
Okay,
So
so let me pull it up. Let me be official, so I don't gotta fucking think about this.
I don't think there's any thinking about it. So they're going to open with the women's War Games match. We also have LA Knight versus Shinsuke.
Good match.
That is going to be a good match.
Yeah.
That is going to be one of the best matches of the night. I don't think it's match of the night, but I think it's probably number 2. So we have the men's war games.
Gunther versus Damian Priest.
We got Gunther
Correct.
versus Damian.
And you were gonna forget this one because we forgot and we didn't bring it up all fucking night. Triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh,
Braun
that's
Breaker versus Sheamus
right.
versus Ludwig Kaiser.
I knew that. That is going to be a good match. Sheamus wins that match.
God, they need to hurry the fuck up and give him his fucking Intercontinental title. Like, Jesus.
I think Sheamus wins that match and he retires after Mania this year after he loses the belt.
Could see that. It's fair. Another
That's
thing,
how I see it.
before we get into the meat and potatoes, I do have one more thing I want to bring up. So,
Meat and potatoes.
the meat and potatoes, and you are going to be here for it. So, what the fuck was it? I'm looking at this. I got sidetracked because I started thinking about Sheamus fucking retiring. That was a good one. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that important. Oh, yeah, sure the fuck it was. Okay, so you know what's not on the card that I think we're going to see a lot of movement from here soon is, people we hadn't talked about in a little bit, the Wyatt Six.
Trash.
Ooh.
So their rivalry with the Final Testament, in my opinion, has really exceeded expectations. And I think that we're finally getting some really good shit from Karrion Kross.
I think we are too, but here's my problem with it all.
Okay.
They're not pushing it the right way.
God damn it. They're what?
They're not pushing it the right way. So between now and February, which it sounds like a long time, it's not. So we're December starting on Sunday.
Correct.
So there's nothing as far as PLEs between now and Rumble after tomorrow.
Saturday night's main event.
That's not a PLE.
Is it not?
It's on fucking NBC. It's not a PLE.
They're gonna treat it like one.
They're gonna treat it like a PLE. It's not a PLE. It's a fucking revamp of something that died a long time ago.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's not gonna be on the cock.
It is on the cock. It's on NBC and the cock,
okay.
which is good because it makes it more available for other people.
Okay.
But that is not going to be anything to call home about. Your main event is Cody versus Kevin Owens. Cody's going to beat Kevin Owens.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
Right, exactly. So we're going to have a 2-month gap from tomorrow to Rumble. December 1st through February 1st. Exactly 2 months because the Rumble's on February 1st in Indy. There has to be some serious development in that storyline for it to really grab me. I like what they did on Raw on Monday. I think that it was good to have Nikki attack Charlotte. I think that's a really good way to get Karrion invested in kicking the crap out of somebody because that's his fucking be-all, end-all. He loves his fucking wife, and I fucking love that. I love that. It's great. So we have got to get some serious storyline development in those 2 months. So that's 8 episodes of Raw. In those 8 episodes of Raw, there needs to be some sort of extreme development every week so that when we get to Rumble, we can have this fucking crazy-ass match that we know we need for the Wyatt Six. And the Wyatt Six have to be active in some form or fashion. I don't care if it's a vignette. I don't care if it is a fucking 10-minute promo. I don't care if they come out to the ring and have a Mexican standoff. There needs to be something every week. Every fucking week.
I
You gotta
agree.
have something.
I agree.
And I fucking hope they pull that trigger. Because the
I
Wyatt
think they
Six deserve a PLE match. And I think it needs to happen at Rumble. It's the last place that Bray had a live PLE match, a televised match. It's the last place he had a PLE match. Granted, it was extremely confusing at the end.
Mhm.
At the end, it was a great match. All this shit after, I don't get. Still don't get it. Doesn't matter. We need that for the Wyatt Six, and I think it needs to be. I think it needs to be a full-on all the male wrestlers and Nikki. I think it needs to be everybody. It needs to be all of them, including the New Testament. It needs to be everybody. It needs to be a mixed tag match with everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
It needs to showcase all of them.
Yep. All right, so meat and potatoes. So we got the men's War Games match.
Taters.
And boy, is there a lot to unwrap here. We've got the OG bloodline versus the Timu bloodline. So we got Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn, and CM Punk versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there just by the names I listed, obviously. So
I mean,
we got
there's
CM
only a
Punk.
lot to unpack based on two names.
Yeah. So let's start with the easy one. We got big old Bronson Reed, and you know why Bronson Reed's there? Because he's an asshole. And the new bloodline, they're a bunch of assholes, and big Polynesian assholes fucking stick together. And so Bronson Reed is now friends with Solo and the Tongans and maybe Jacob Fatu. I don't know if Jacob Fatu has friends. He just loves Solo.
That whole fucking match tonight, I swear to God, he said, "I love you, Solo," fucking 7 times during his match with Jay tonight.
He loves Solo, man.
I don't give a fuck. Say something else.
So
all of them.
That was a hell of a match. And Jay did so fucking good.
hi, Mama.
Hi, Mama. But
Mama.
Jay and Jacob did so fucking good with that
Merry
match
Christmas,
tonight.
Mama.
Happy Hanukkah. That's a private chat, Leo. War Games.
I know.
Okay, just making sure. Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Merry Christmas. Chrysler. Fuck, y'all are fucking me up. So, Jacob Fatu really showed out tonight in that match, and
When
the
does he?
bloodline, the current bloodline, obviously won the upper hand match, the
Mhm.
advantage match, which they had to,
Yeah.
because I think the OG bloodline wins this match. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm sticking
You
to
have
it.
to. Yeah.
And that's how it went last year because the Judgment Day had the advantage last year.
Right.
And
Well, if you think about it,
but Randy came back last year. Randy had to win.
Well, no. If you think about it realistically, and this is the one disadvantage, in my opinion, to them doing War Games as often as they do, because you're going to see this every single time. There's no storytelling logic behind giving the babyface team the advantage.
Yeah.
Just it tells the story the right way to give the heels the advantage.
Right. It does, and I agree. I
So you're going to see that every year.
Yep.
But I completely agree with you that the OG bloodline wins, and truthfully, I don't know what comes next after this, and I don't think that's what's important. I think what's important is how we get there or how we've gotten there. Because notably, I did say the OG Bloodline and CM Punk. And how do you think CM Punk got there?
Well,
He could do nothing on AEW.
We don't talk about that. There's two
We're not gonna
things we
talk
don't
about
talk
that.
about on this podcast.
We don't talk about AEW.
No, we don't talk about that situation. We talk about AEW sometimes. We haven't lately.
We have not talked about AEW in months
We're talking
don't
about it
blame
right
you.
now.
because they fucking suck.
Don't let him have this, Colt.
I've been saying it.
Okay,
I'm gonna give it to him.
no, I'm not
He's
giving
not
it to
fucking
him.
wrong. I'm giving it to
When
him.
Liel's in the room, I like AEW.
They fucking suck.
Right?
They,
When Liel's in
okay,
the room, I like AEW.
Some
so
of the best wrestlers don't know.
I saw a fucking video on Twitter earlier before we started this shit, and it's some like verified account, and the dude just hates WWE and he loves AEW and he thinks AEW is better. And it was a video of Ospreay doing Rob Van Dam shit that Rob Van Dam did 20 years ago. And it's like, fuck off, dude. Like, it's not quality storytelling. It's just stupid, crazy matches for no fucking reason.
I agree.
No fucking reason. It's stupid. And I'll talk shit about it till I'm blue in the face and the fucking cows come home. They can fucking wrestle all these 5-star fucking matches all they want. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how good Ospreay is. He's never, until he fucking swallows his pride and understands what storytelling is, he's never going to be a great wrestler. He's
I'm
not.
like this.
Because all he fucking does is do flips and shit in a fucking random match against Konosuke Takeshita for no fucking reason. That's all he's ever going to be. It's a fucking pageant show, and no one cares.
You listening, Steve?
Steve agrees. He's not going to admit it because
I didn't hear any of what Colt said. He cut out for me. I'm sure the audience heard him. Anyway, we were talking about Survivor Series War Games, and I just wanted to point out, once I get my train of thought back, I don't know, I feel like I just was hearing a bunch of horse shit and nonsense at the same time.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Now it's just loud.
But we got a bunch of Rikishi's kids fighting each other tomorrow.
It's true.
And
Go, Steve.
so Paul Heyman. That's what I was going to say. Paul Heyman. That's
Great
how
guy.
It's a favor.
Yeah, it's Liel. Right there. Say hi to Mama, Liel.
What's good?
Anyway, so Paul Heyman came back, and he was dressed like Solo, and he winked at fucking Jimmy or Sammy, and now he's all buddy-buddy with Punk, and Roman doesn't like it. And, yeah, I wonder how that's all going to play out.
What were you saying earlier about Cody before we started the show?
So, Cody.
You said that Cody called him out in a promo.
Oh, okay. So we got
39.
yeah. So there was some foreshadowing. I don't remember if it was before 39 or 40, but it was in the build to Roman versus Cody at one point. I actually want to say it was 40.
Anyway,
But he talked about what was going to happen when Roman lost the Universal Championship, and he mentioned that he was going to be a chief without a tribe, which did happen. And then he said, and when you lose that championship, your wise man, or he stops being a wise man and he becomes an advocate again.
Yeah.
And, it looks like maybe that foreshadowing was coming true as well. because I don't know. Paul is acting weird. He's definitely
Paul is
acting
acting
more
weird.
like CM Punk's friend than he is Roman's wise man.
I think it'd be good.
Because
I think it would be good for CM Punk.
I think
think
the
it's
biggest
good for the
difference that we've
business.
seen is for close to 4 years, we've seen Paul as the wise man, and he's acted terribly afraid and subservient to Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yes, my tribal chief. In ways we didn't see him act towards Brock Lesnar, CM Punk. So
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that his buddiness with CM Punk seems to be taking fucking order over his subservience to Roman Reigns. You know, to me, that tells a big story. Like he's not being Roman's wise man.
I can agree with that, 100%. And the way Paul acted last week on SmackDown told its own story.
Mm-hmm.
It told its own story. And I would like to see the latter part of the interview after CM Punk left and Roman and Paul had their little exchange
Yeah,
on tonight's episode of SmackDown, because there's more to that story.
100%.
And I think a lot of that plays into CM Punk wanting to main event WrestleMania this coming year. And I'm down for that.
Yeah,
100%. I'm down.
So, man, and what happens? What happens after this War Games match? Because all right, let's think about how this plays out. So, realistically, and I mean, it could go either way. You know, like realistically, it could go either way. But I think we all agree it's probably going OG Bloodline over New Bloodline.
Yeah.
And you know that raises a whole bunch of questions. And obviously, we've kind of answered a little bit, you know, where this kind of goes for the the old bloodline. You know, I think that one is kind of not that hard to choreograph, you know, with Roman Reigns probably having something to do with CM Punk, maybe not immediately, but, you know, I think that's definitely something that they're telegraphing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jimmy and Jay are going to have to go their separate ways, at least for now, because, you know, Jay's a Raw guy. And, you know, I think he kind of goes back to being main event Jay, hopefully. And you know,
I hope so.
What Jimmy,
I hope
along
this win at fucking War Games starts the singles revolution of Jay, the second coming of Jay as a single superstar, and we get him as a world champion. And I don't know how that plays out. I don't know where it fits in, but I would like to see it sometime around SummerSlam next year. What's up, Kenny?
Howdy.
Happy Thanksgiving, God damn it.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that would be, yeah. But I think the big question coming out of this is, what does it mean?
Yeah, kids are you seriously? You just like
what is this? What happens in defeat for the New Bloodline? Because I think that opens a lot of possibilities too.
That opens like a shitload of doors.
Because
not only does it open a shitload of doors, but it opens like one big motherfucking door, and it's gonna be fucking Jacob and Solo, and Jacob fucking wrecks Solo's shit.
And so that's a big part of why I think. So one of two things is going to happen coming out of this, and I think option number 2 is significantly more likely, but that is, you know, Roman and his bloodline defeat Solo and his bloodline, and that is the end of Solo's tribal chiefdom. However, I think option number 2 is what they're going to do, and I think there's one more match, and it's a singles match between Solo and Roman. However, once we get there, whenever it may be, you know, I think that you're absolutely right. It's going to end up being Solo and Jacob.
So here's my theory on it all. Roman's bloodline wins tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to Rumble. We get Roman and Solo in a singles match. And I think you can throw in a stipulation, like not necessarily a stipulation, but like it could be a strap match. It could be a Samoan strap match.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Bloodline Rules. It could be Hell in a Cell, which I would love to see.
That'd
But
be cool.
I don't think it's going to be Hell in a Cell because we just had Hell in a Cell in Bad Blood, and I think it's kind of
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, that's
So I think we're going to get Bloodline Rules,
yeah. I think that makes the most sense.
and it's a singles match. I think Roman wins that match, and I think there's all the interference in the world. I think when that match is over, Roman takes the Ula Fala, and then so that's the match for title of Tribal Chief.
Mm-hmm.
So Roman wins that match. He gets the Ula Fala back. He leaves the ring, and he's draped with Jimmy, Jay, Sammy, Paul, and maybe a select few others. And it'll be kind of like a reminiscent of WrestleMania 40. Kind of like Cody had all the fucking help in the world, which is, anyways, fast forward a little bit. Solo is in the ring, and Jacob comes out of nowhere. Like he's been knocked out by somebody or somebodies. Jacob gets up, gets in the ring, helps Solo up, and proceeds to fucking whoop his ass. Like wholesale style. Like fucks him up. And then we get that story, which I am fucking game for, because that is how we get Jacob Fatu as a standalone singles wrestler.
Which is what the people want, man.
And it just completely discombobulates the whole Solo bloodline. The Tongans end up going their own way and become a shitty tag team. And Solo is left alone to do his own thing. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with all of it.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think we're probably a year and a half removed from that point. I think we're a year and a half removed from Jacob's first main card title run, probably only 6 months from his mid card title run.
Right.
Same with Solo, maybe like 6 months back, because Solo is going to probably take some time off after that because he's been nonstop since he showed up. What, Kenny? It opens up Kenny H to the badass body man for the title of the world.
I think Mr. Kenny H might be declaring for the Rumble. Is that
man? It'd be like fucking Butterbean showing up in fucking Jackass, bro.
See, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Kenny.
I like our fantasy booking on here. I like what you came up with. I don't know. What's crazy, and because I like all the stuff that you came up with. Like, I think your fantasy booking is great. What I think is wild is that they have crafted such a story that everything I've come up with in my head independently is completely different. And it all
that's awesome.
And it all makes sense.
You look like a little bit taller, way more fatter Hornswoggle. I can see that.
Okay.
I'm not being a dick, Kenny. I love you, bro.
So, a lot of sex appeal is what you're saying.
Kenny got that fucking motion to the ocean, baby.
See, that's I could see that on TV. I think we need to get him in the Rumble.
Him and Otis could have one hell of a fucking feud.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Like Otis would do the worm, Kenny would fucking make the 50 states dance. You know what I'm saying?
I fucking love it. Hell yeah!
And I'd be the fucking manager trying to figure out what's going on.
Yep. Nope.
All right, you guys do this for a minute. I gotta fucking pee. So,
Well, I
y'all
got to
just keep.
go.
No, you gotta stay
No.
for a
Okay.
minute.
I'll talk about hot dogs. Go pee. I'll talk about fucking hot dogs.
Leal, you have to stay till I get back.
All right, I'll stay and watch the cat. Look at him.
Be back. I'll
He
be
like
right
ran
back.
right behind you.
I know she's a little fucker. Look at her. Do you see? Oh god damn! What the fuck, Flapjack? God damn! I got that on camera, motherfucker.
I haven't. My cat's been chill. She's
My
hiding.
cat never chills.
She's been tree chill.
I gave you treats earlier, asshole.
Not enough. Never enough.
Crazy motherfucker. But yeah, while Mike's gone, it's crazy. I thought I would be able to hold this down and talk about things, but I don't know. All I've really got to talk left about is war games and God damn it! Why are you here, Vanover? See now I'm derailed even further. It's so bad right now. Liel, I'm sorry you got to be here while Liel's here or while Vanover's here.
Trying to get my cat over here for Hagen, but she's not about it. Sally, is that you?
Gosh.
She hides. We put up all our Christmas decor, so she's going crazy on that.
Oh God, I bet.
Yeah, it's insane.
Cats love
Everything.
yeah.
I like how Vancouver's just.
Don't encourage this behavior, Liel.
I think you need to get him on here and tell everybody why the Earth is flat.
He couldn't convince a flat earther that the earth was flat. If Vanover told a flat earther the earth was flat, they'd start believing that the earth was round.
It's deep.
Yeah,
It's deep.
it is. It really gives the people something to think about in Mike's absence. Because really, I got one more thing I want to bring up, but I want to wait for him to bring it up because he's going to have something to say about it. And
What, cardio?
no, we talked about Jade Cargill and how she may or may not actually really be injured.
I think she is injured, but it's not from that.
No, yeah, 100%. If she is injured, it's not from that. But if she's not injured, I think that they've handled it really poorly. I was talking about that earlier.
I just don't understand what they're doing with her.
I think she would have been really good for war games, and I think it's a shame.
Yeah.
But really, Colt, there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about realistically. And it's a great way to wrap things up because guess who's coming in fucking January? Rampage Wrestling.
That's my
Killer
cue.
Instinct.
Yes, sir. And
That's our
honestly,
1 year anniversary.
yeah, dude. And I would be so excited to attend this event because not only to see, our friends, the Rampagers, and everybody get to catch up with them. We hadn't seen those guys in a while.
Alley, you dick.
Dickhead motherfucker. But we've got some special guests there. Fuego del Sol. That's a guy I've been a fan of for a while, actually. Fuego del Sol is fucking awesome. So I bet you're probably not familiar with him. He's a pretty,
I remember him.
Yeah, so he's a pretty well-known independent wrestler. He had a pretty long stint in AEW, and he was fucking great. He had this whole shtick where he hadn't won a match in a really long time, and They handled it really hilariously. So I remember this one video package with Cody Rhodes, and the whole premise of it was Cody was scouting for AEW, and he had heard about this guy that wrestled on the Indies, Fuego del Sol, and apparently he had the best tornado DDT in the game. And the camera the whole time was fixed on Cody sitting in the crowd watching this match in his suit. And he's kind of like sitting there commentating to himself, and you can hear the action going on in the ring. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, he's finally about to hit that tornado DDT. And, you hear the crowd like getting up and getting excited. And he's like, hey, no, he countered it again. And then you just hear a big slam, and then like 1, 2, 3. And Cody just like sits down, like kind of defeated. And it was just months and months of Fuego just getting his fucking ass kicked. And I don't remember who the match eventually was against, but finally you see this motherfucker hit a really clean tornado DDT and finally win a match.
Hell yeah.
And it was super like stupid low card shit, but it was awesome. And for one, I think it's funny that he plays this luchador character when Fuego del Sol's from Alabama and he has like a super like southern accent.
That's awesome.
And I just think he's fucking awesome, and I would love to fucking meet the guy.
That'd be fun, man.
Yeah, dude.
I need to text Lance.
Yeah.
I really need to text Lance because I think we could bring something to the table. And we've talked about it. I think it'd be really fucking cool to do that.
Yeah, dude. I think that'd be fucking awesome.
I think it would take some practice, but I think we could do it.
Oh, dude. I think once we got into the flow of it, I think we'd be fucking awesome at it.
See, my problem is going to be, number one, knowing the name of every move hit. Number two, remembering everybody's name, which I think I've got figured out, but I for sure need to know everybody and like their nicknames and stuff like that. I think it'd be great.
See, honestly, I think a way that we could do that, I think that starting out, if especially if you're worried about like calling moves and stuff,
yeah,
I think I may be better at doing like the play-by-play. Because
yeah.
honestly, like I don't know that I'd be great at it. Like I'm not saying like I'd be a fucking awesome play-by-play commentator, but
Sure.
I feel fairly confident in calling moves and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I think that'd be cool.
I think all of it would be so much fun.
So much fun, dude. And
we need to sit down with Lance, and we need
Yeah.
to figure out if it's something they're wanting to do, and if we could do it.
Yeah, really. I just want to go get back involved with those guys. I need to catch up with SOB, man. He's fallen on some hard times, I know. And I need to fucking catch up with Jack.
Yeah. Definitely need to catch up with Jack. We need to catch up with the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, dude.
So, I think all of it would be fun, man.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
So everybody, Lubbock or in the Lubbock area, make sure to check out Killer Instinct. These events are so much fun. These guys and girls that wrestle right here in Lubbock, Texas, and
seriously, man, Rampage Wrestling, it's where it's at in Lubbock.
Yeah.
It's, they're the premier wrestling promotion in West Texas, in my opinion. I mean, they do shows in Lubbock, they do shows in Abilene, they do shows in Sweetwater. I think they do shows in Big Spring. I know for sure Abilene and Sweetwater. And some of these guys travel. Some of these guys are in Texarkana. Some of these guys are in DFW. Megan Mercy, she's all over the fucking place.
Morgan Mercy.
Morgan Mercy, thank you. She is all over the fucking place. She's been a champion in DFW. She's been a champion in Texarkana. She's been a champion, I believe, here in Lubbock, if I'm not mistaken. They do shows constantly. You guys got to check them out. If you're a wrestling fan, it's something to do on a Saturday night. It's great entertainment for your kids if you want to get them out of the house and off their fucking iPad.
Yeah, and if you're a mark,
it's a good way to keep them entertained.
And if you're a mark like me, man, I know what you may think, thinking about a local wrestling promotion. But I'll tell you what, man, and this is not just gassing up these people because I like them. There's a lot of these people, and I'm thinking Mac the franchise. I'm thinking DL Hartley. I'm thinking a number of these guys, and not to disrespect anybody that I didn't name. There's a lot of you out there that are truly talented individuals who I could see going far in this business. They are people, give another shout to Morgan Mercy, who's somebody who's just fucking fantastic.
Yep.
These are men and women who I think, they're putting in the work. And I think if they have the desire and the means to keep chasing this dream, I think that they're people that we could all know their names one day. And I think it's fucking cool as shit that we have had the opportunity to not only sit down and talk with these people. Check out our interviews with Rampage Wrestling on Spotify.
They are on Spotify.
Great listen. But, to see sort of how they evolve over time and over just this year that we've been sort of aware of everything that's going on. I mean, I think the sky's the limit. And I think whatever is happening at that Rampage dojo, I mean, it's working, man. I mean, they've had Gangrel and they're getting fucking Fuego del Sol this year. And, there's a lot of momentum going on with these guys, and, something that they're doing is working, and it's working well for them. So check them out before you're too late, man. And check them out before they get too hot.
Yep. There's not a lot of time left before some of these guys are moving to the next step.
Yep.
And there's some of them that they want to stay right where they're at, and I can respect that.
Yeah. On a local level, I mean, you're always going to have guys and girls that, this is their dream. I mean, why else would you get involved realistically? But at the same time, you're going to have people that are more, they're doing this for a hobby. They're doing this for fun. They don't want to do this on a career level. And that's fine too. Like, regardless of that, they're talented. And like you said, they put on a quality show. I have never been disappointed going to one.
They work their asses off, man.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited for that. But folks, I think that's all I have. I don't know about you, Mike, but
I think we're good, brother. Guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate all your involvement.
Tune in next week.
Vanover, please don't tune in ever again. Guys, I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope if you're watching Survivor Series tomorrow, I hope you enjoy the show. We'll catch up on it next week, hopefully, as long as everything goes to plan.
Yep.
If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks like we've been doing lately. But we appreciate y'all. We really do. We love y'all. Couldn't do this without y'all.